And welcome back to Stories from the River. We've got a super fantastic episode for you today. Let's go.
Welcome to Stories from the River, a show in which we go behind the scenes at Broad River Retail.
Okay, we are here in the studio today, here in the broadcast studio at the mill with a very special guest, a repeat guest here on the pod, our 2025 GM of the Year, Mr. Bradley Sullivan. Bradley, welcome back to the pod.
Thank you, sir.
That's it, just thank you.
I'm super excited to be back. It's a great privilege. 2025 was a great year, and I'm excited to talk about it.
I'm excited to have you here. Mr. Furniture Famous, right?
I mean, somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, somebody's got to do it. Hey, and it might as well be you, right? You guys had a fabulous year, fabulous being the key word there, last year. You had a lot of wins, including college football championship, right?
Yeah, Hoosiers. Hoosiers.
Yeah, and love your clip on the gala, your speech. I am a proud Broad River memory maker.
Yes, sir.
You wear the badge. You got that gala pullover rocking pretty sweet right there.
I did. We got these for being the winners, and I'm very proud of it. I had it augmented a little bit.
Yeah, I see that. You got your aces on there.
Yeah, you got to represent the squad there.
Okay, so 2025 GM of the Year. This was your first GM of the Year award?
It was, sir.
Okay, fantastic. And was that a goal you had at the beginning of the year?
It was a goal I had in 2019.
Okay.
I mean, it was a goal I had when I first saw Michael Childers win GM of the Year, and then very soon after drop the trophy and break it. So it was a goal to win it, but not break the trophy.
I got you. And so how are you feeling as you kind of enter 2025? Because you had just you were what, 4-6 months into your tenure at Albemarle? Is that about right?
Yes, sir. I was 4 full months.
Yeah, 4 full months. And so you're kind of getting your sea legs up under you and starting to build some momentum. I think you maybe even had the store of the month in December of 24.
We did.
Okay, so you're having some momentum. And so now how are you feeling going into 2025? Like, what were the goals? What was the mindset? What were the conversations with the team? Were you guys like, hey, by the way, GM of the Year, also Albemarle, the fabulous Albemarle Aces. These Albemarle Aces got put on the map because they got the North American Store of the Year. So a lot of wins. And also, I mean, we may as well go ahead and say it. Also, Jalen Fisher, Sales Manager of the Year last year. So a lot of wins. And of course, we just talked about the Indiana Hoosiers winning the national championship. I don't know that Bradley had anything at all to do with that. But
I did get to go see them live. Bobby and I, my best friend from Indy, went to D.C. and saw them play at Maryland in that dream season.
That's awesome.
We might have something to do with it.
Yeah, maybe a little bit something. Okay, so what was your mindset, your goals going into the year? Like, how did you set it up?
Jalen and I knew that the store of the year was possible because of December 24. We won number 1 in North America, so we saw the possibility there, which, I mean, that's unfathomable to even think you can get on that list. So we thought it was possible to do it for the entire year. We had also won 3 Grogu's and 2 cheeseburger trophies in our first 4 months. So we were just raging with momentum, and we just started talking about it all the time. We weren't looking at one goal. We were looking past everything. We just wanted to run through every finish line.
Should we unpack what the cheeseburger trophy is and what the Grogu is?
Yeah. Cheeseburger trophy is the best sleep store in the organization. It doesn't have category. It's across all stores.
For the month.
That's right, for the month. And then the Grogu is in the bronze, copper, and outlet stores. So it's about 16 store category. Then you would have Yoda in the silver and up categories.
Store of the month,
That's
essentially. Right. So we have 2 store of the months. And Catch the Mandalorian. It's out now. But that's where Grogu came from. So you guys were building momentum, winning some awards. But what is about this thing called VPO?
Vision, purpose, ownership. It's just something that came up. We were in the SRL meeting, and Stacy told us that we were going to have a new revamped Purpose 828, which of course was very special to me. And he told us we were going to have breakout sessions and what those categories would be. And one of them was buy-in and enrollment. Everyone in the SRL started making a list of who should lead which categories and which workshops. And my name was in the hat for buy-in and enrollment. So it was just coming up with a way that I ran the teams and what my systems are. And VPO, Vision, Purpose, Ownership, was what is what it came out to. Actually, originally it was shared vision, purpose, and ownership. But I had a collaborator that told me to knock the S off there and make it VPO. So,
Okay.
and she was definitely right.
And just for our audience, SRL.
Senior Retail Leadership.
Yeah. And so we meet monthly, and you got to be a member of the SRL because of
The RPC.
Yeah, and another one, RPC.
Retail Performance Committee.
And so that's an earned deal, like
Yeah.
every 3 months or every 6 months.
It's every 6 months, so the semester, twice a year that there's a new RPC, and it would be the top performing general managers in the organization. It's a huge point of pride for me. I take a lot of pride in the leadership and the development and the collaboration that the RPC brings.
And when did you get on the RPC?
I was on the RPC my first tenure when I was here years ago, and then I got back on last year on my first time that it was applicable for me to be able to qualify.
Mid-year.
Yes, sir. I got back on, and then now I've been on for this semester, and I intend on being on always.
Yeah, and so it comes with like maybe some extra bonuses, but extra responsibilities and extra influence over the direction, the path, the programs of the organization. And you're in those seats with the multi-unit leaders, the senior retail leaders, and you meet monthly for the SRL RX, the senior retail leadership RX meetings, that then form the content for the GM RX meetings. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's another word I would use is privilege. I think that's the way that we see it. We see it as a privilege, and I know that me and my teammates, Troy, Nathan, Mitch, Alexis, and David, we really see it as a privilege to be leaders and also to collaborate and figure how we can get growth. A lot of things we talk about are sales manager growth and, kind of the roots and growing up into what would be hopefully our position.
Okay, so let's talk about this. 2025, when you look back, what do you think? What comes to mind, 2025?
I think the first thing for me that comes to mind is Jalen. It's meeting Jalen in August of 2024 and just seeing like, wow, like this guy has so much promise and energy, and I'm so excited to see what we can do. And then now to where we are, that he's a general manager of all that we created. And as we sit right now, the number one power rank store in the organization is the Albemarle Aces, and I'm here with you.
Yeah, that's right. So Jalen, and then let's continue, segue. I love how you describe your team. You even kind of put, the heart, the spade, all the things. So go through all your full house for the Albemarle Aces and talk about the team from 2025.
Yeah. So Jalen at sales manager and the right hand man. And then we had Angie for sure at our REM, selling REM. So she was the queen of hearts, and she was the queen of hearts because I was the ace of hearts. So not only was the queen of hearts have its own off with your head type of thing for her, as REM and ops side of it, but she was an extension of me, and that mattered so much that I was able to depend on her, and I certainly could. And then we had the Ace of Spades and Jose Gonzalez, probably our most talented, actual gifted salesperson. So, the Ace of Spades is the trump card, the death card, so he was the closer. And then the club had the leaves. The club had the multiple leaves, and that was Lula Clark, Diana. She was the great connector and really the beating heart and thumping soul of the team. And so the club was perfect for her. And then now, at the end of the tenure, we added Isaiah Taylor back to the fold, who is not only a former memory maker that we brought back to the company, but Jalen Fisher's childhood best friend.
Oh, really?
So bringing Isaiah back to the team, to me, was the evolution of Albemarle moving forward. And I know that these two guys trust and love each other so much that removing me from the equation and putting them together was the recipe for success.
Yeah, there's so much there. By the way, what was Jalen? What was he?
Ace of Diamonds.
Ace of Diamonds.
Yeah, Jalen. Yeah. Jalen was the money card, like the heart behind it, and then the belief behind it was the Ace of Hearts was for me. But Jalen was the money and is the money. I mean, Jalen, I always knew well before he did, I think, that he was going to take it over. Yeah. And I knew that it was me left to him. And if he's, he needs to have the business make money. He needs people to make money. That's what business is. So the Ace of Diamonds was perfect for him. And then with Isaiah's the Jack of Diamonds now. We made a commitment, Jalen and I, that there would never be a repeat card in Albemarle. So with Lula retiring and Jose now moving on, nobody would repeat the cards. Your legacy would always be intact. If you remember the Aces, you would always have that.
That's really cool. Well, Jalen is Mr. Stanley County. Born and raised, born and bred.
Went to high school there, lived there. Jalen hates to drive, so he doesn't want to go anywhere. So he's stationed there.
I guess that's why he flew overseas for his honeymoon.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And when did Isaiah rejoin the River?
a month before I left, so a little bit more than that. I think it was maybe in the last week of March.
Okay.
So we had about a 5-week overlap
Yep.
with him there with me and all of us together.
Okay.
And now he just reached his, I believe now he's definitely maybe 140,000 written on the month with a week to go. So he's had his biggest month ever with the river, which he and I had a conversation before he left the first time about his need for big stores and his need for traffic and how he could never work in Albemarle. And I said, well, I didn't invite you. So, but now he's back and he's doing so well. And I'm very, I don't like to say proud for people, but I'm very impressed by him and thankful for him that Jalen has him.
A couple call outs there. I mean, I love the relationship you developed with your REM, with Angie, and you gave her an identity, you gave her a purpose, or helped her recognize what that identity and purpose are and were. And then even created an innovative role for her because she didn't start as a selling REM. REM being retail experience manager, and really the GM's number 2 operationally on the retail ops team, and then got her out on the floor to help sell. And you were the selling GM for the whole year. And so we're not just leading the store, but also participating in this hybrid role as well. And then obviously love the relationship of with you and Jalen, and really, a leader plans his own obsolescence. He plans for his replacement, and there's no ego about it. Like you're like, yeah, I'm out. In order for me to move on, I've got to put this store on the right path. And so really did that with this whole identity that can outlive you, and this whole kind of framework that's been created. And you kind of did that, at the Believe, and with Durham, we all remember Durham, and some of the
shout out to Bull City.
Yeah, and so okay, GM of the year. Favorite memories, and you're thinking about Jalen. Let's talk about KPIs that you're like most proud of, or achievements or accomplishments that you're most proud of from either your leadership or the Albemarle Aces in 2025.
Average ticket. We led the organization in average ticket.
Well, that's pretty powerful.
It's
And it's not because it's like the most well-off like neighborhood or zip codes in our region.
Definitely not that. No, it's the idea for the, it's always been my darling metric is average ticket, no matter which store I was at. It's always been get more of it out of each, referencing back home to Indianapolis. That's something that Bobby and I used to write on our calendars way before I ever had KPIs. We would just keep track of how many guests and how much we sold that we took, and that would be our average ticket. And we would write it on our day planners on our desk. And then getting to Albemarle and the traffic, which I was actually just telling Tyler before the conversation here, is it can be maddening, the emptiness of stores with that traffic level, and to be ready and stay ready and then get the most out of it. So IPT, items per ticket, and average ticket were definitely the most powerful things that we did there. And it's also taking it to Cary and taking that same sort of behavior of get more out of each. They will buy more.
We're going to get to Cary, but I want to go back to that phrase you just said, because this has become one of your calling cards. They will buy more.
Yeah.
They will buy more. Like, where did that phrase come from? What does that phrase mean? And how do you know that's true?
It's the comfort of the buyer. Every time I go into Walmart to get some deodorant, I leave with socks, WD-40, and some orange juice because I'm comfortable buying there. And that's what I want the teams to understand in our business, that people that are comfortable will buy more. People come in with a want, and we got to provide the need, or they come in with a need, and we have to provide the want. And we can get those tickets to larger tickets, and it also it helps people. They buy more, they save more. They get zero interest on something they might do in 3 years. They get it all at once. They save the money. So the idea that you're doing good for someone, doing well for someone by getting them more is also a really great feeling, rather than just trying to upsell someone. So they will buy more is just the belief that keep selling, sell past yes. The biggest mistake that is made in probably many industries, but I'm only speaking for this one, is we sell and we sell. And the moment they say they're going to buy, we stop selling. And it's mind-blowing to me that we don't see that well enough. And I'm trying to put that in everybody's face. As soon as they say yes, don't move.
Yeah, I love these quotes you've got as a student of the game, but also like as a person who's played the game and played it at a high level for many years. It's, you always hear the phrase "sell past no," right? But you said, I'm going to rethink that, reinvent that. Sell past yes.
Yeah.
Which is a very creative way of thinking about it. Okay, so what other KPIs as you look at 2025? So average ticket was one. What about accomplishments? What about number of Grogu's? What about number of times you were in the rankings for Store of the Month? Yeah. What about SPGs? What about private events?
We finished the year at a SPG of 631. Yeah,
pretty
which
strong.
was second in the organization. We were super proud of that. When I came back, Stacy told me, Bradley, I really believe this is a 600 SPG store. And from Stacy McCormick, that means, Bradley, get this to a 600 SPG store. So we did that. But for me, Jalen and I truly believe that it's a 700 consistent SPG store. We did get 800 in November for an entire month, which is only the fourth store.
Which is a Moneyball month.
Yeah, Moneyball month is only the fourth store to ever do it in the organization. Super excited about that. Shout out to the Mariners out on the coast for doing it since us, and Cary in the Lake for also having achieved that in the past. So that was huge for us. We won 10 top store trophies out of 20 months being together. I think really the coolest thing, if you remember our conversation last year at the track, we were coming off April, which was a tough month at Albemarle. We lost that month. We carried the momentum and ended up winning all our trophies back in May. Jalen and I recognized that April was our last month together, and we got number 4 in in North America. So we got back on the list in our last month. So we achieved it December of 24 the first time, and we won it for 2025, America's number 1. And then we were able to get back on that list for our very last month together in April.
April 26th.
April 26th.
Yeah. Okay, so I know it wasn't always straight up and to the right, like a super growth curve. I know it wasn't all victory laps. So what were some of the ones where, hey, we took it on the chin, we lost that month, or we didn't achieve what we knew we were capable of? And how do you kind of diagnose that or kind of overcome those hurdles?
Well, every time we had to find a way to take responsibility and ownership of it. There's never one time that you can, if you know how you lost, to me, you never truly lose. If you know how you lost, you never truly lose. And I would have to say that to Jalen a lot. And I think that it took until about a year that he and I were together, that I really remember seeing in his eyes one day that the switch had been flipped, that he believed he had control over these things. And that would have been in June of 25. We lost that month. And then it was a lower traffic month for us, which June tends to be, but a lower traffic month in the lower traffic stores, you're really seeing that hit. But then we picked it up and we started really saying, hey, we have got to get this momentum, because if we want the store of the year, we had the Charleston, West Virginia store that was on us. And if we were going to find a way to get this done, we had to pick it up. And we just did it by talking about sell past yes. We really started working on the 3X and our positioning when people said yes. We just didn't budge. We didn't flinch. And to be able to keep growing those tickets and to do that, we ended up winning 3 cheeseburgers of the last 4 months, I believe it was. 3 Grogu's of the last 4 months. We didn't lose in the last 4 months. Hit that 800 SPG month. So just talking about it and trying to understand the business.
Yeah, I think what you made me think of is with if you know how you lost, you didn't lose. Makes me think of, it's not that Maxwell quote. It's not winning or losing. It's winning or learning.
Absolutely.
And so don't pay tuition twice. Take the lesson the first time and let's move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so let's talk about just a couple of events from 2025 that maybe are stand out. So the July RX, a couple things. I came and gave kind of my testimony in the story of Broad River, and then you guys had the big Pioneer Promise that you and Dana put together, which was because we were tracking behind, and there was this 272 commitment. We had to go win the first year, and you guys kind of came up with this thing. So talk about the July RX, and then we'll get into 828.
I think Dana's impervious to pressure. Us humans feel pressure. And the day before that, that July RX, she had got a phone call that was, hey, we kind of need something to catch some momentum. We're behind and everything else. And we're going to have every GM in the organization is going to be there. What can we do? And we were at lunch at Lake Murray in Columbia. And it was, hey, what if we came up with a promise? And then it became a puzzle. And then it became just all these ideas. And the original idea was to take the puzzle piece, put it in an envelope, and then put it in the safe of the store because we were so afraid to lose the puzzle piece. Well, then the idea was, hey, we'll print every store's picture, we'll frame it, we'll put the puzzle piece in there, we'll write. So as this idea grew and grew, it came from noon the day before, and then all the way into about 1 a.m. the day of. And kudos to Carl, because I didn't realize we didn't have a name for it. But here we are. I'm spray painting orange in the garage. Dana's working on the metrics and how all the math is going to break down. We already had the puzzle cut up, and all the ideas were there and all the systems of how it was going to work and be presented. But then we Teams call with Carl, and we presented it to Carl, and Carl said, "The Pioneer Promise." And I'm over there spray painting like, yes, like that's it. That's the name. So with all of the work that went into that, if Carl wouldn't have had that quick idea to name it, because I think that the name was so perfect. But I would say in 2025, if I had to list, that was one of the coolest things, because we worked so hard on that. And then the next day, to see it all unfold and all the energy that everyone had behind it, and it was a raging success. And to just to come from two people on their day off, making a commitment to do something for this great company that loves us so much, and it translated so well to all that movement.
It was really, really cool.
It was so cool, man.
And then we had this other thing that we had this Purpose 828, and so you talked about the VPO and the SRL. You were going to get selected, and so you're pioneering the path, an 828 experience, a Purpose 828 experience. And so there's all the keynote speakers, John Acuff, Kristen Hadid, the 6 breakout sessions. You were teaching one of them, and the jerseys, the shoes, kind of the camaraderie. You were at I think one of the original 828s, right?
Yeah, it was day zero.
Your day zero. You got kind of that's when you accepted, or we kind of had that handshake deal, I guess, at your day zero at 828. So bring that full circle. What was 828 like for you?
I'm always proud. Like, I'm just, if not as in prideful, but like I'm just so proud to represent us. And to ask me to talk about what made me successful and really unpack it was just full of other people. So to be able to go up there and talk about all the people that were in the path, and how most of these successes were with people that were already in the stores, it was just unmined gold that I was able to find, and then show other people that there's probably unmined gold in your business too. And to do it 3 times in a row in 23 minutes never would have happened. At another time that I was with the great collaborator, each one of us had a SRL member attached to us, and I just happened to pull Dana out of the hat. And for me, a lot of great ideas, it was the things that I had done. But if I wasn't able to bottle it and check the important things and maybe shave off some of the not, then that's where Dana came in. And to do it 3 times in a row, 23 minutes a time, was a challenge, and we practiced it incessantly. I mean, I was up again the night before 828, probably till 3 a.m., just rehearsing and rehearsing and rehearsing. But it meant the world to me to be able to be asked to do something to help. And I remember one of the most impactful things for me walking out of one of those sessions, Will Luke stopped me, and he was like, "I'd like to talk about this more, whenever you have a chance." And it means a lot to me when people in other, whether it be lines of work or other departments within our company, see value in what I'm doing, because I think Will Luke is so incredibly intelligent, and if he thought what I was doing was cool, then that's pretty cool.
And did you hear from other GMs afterwards?
Yeah, it was.
Were you coaching and mentoring?
It was as simple as, sometimes it was coaching and mentoring, and sometimes somebody maybe just asked me one question like, "Hey, what was this very specific time like?" But cool thing was a lot of the GMs were there for those experiences I was talking about. So they kind of witnessed when those things happen, and to be able to go back and put some of the thought processes behind them was really neat.
Awesome. Now, you sent me a text and said one of your favorite core value at Broad River was collaboration.
Yeah.
And you kind of unpacked that. Why don't you unpack that for our audience? Why collaboration? Why was that on your mind?
With RPC, it's very important that to me, and I know to my teammates on the RPC, and also I want to give a shout out to Danny Rose and Jeff Willis, because they were with Mitch and I last semester on the RPC when I feel like we kind of started a lot of this movement. But I want to see our internal people grow. We can hire people in and get great talent. But for me, we've got Jason Bogus in the South, who was a selling REM, who's a general manager now. Chris McEwen. We have Kinsey Phillips. We have Rebecca Palmer. Jalen, of course. We've got all these people that started with us as either HFA or HFC, and that now are at sales managers and then become general managers. And before Sam Van Giesen and maybe back to Chris Barrier, we don't have a lot of that. And so the collaboration of what it takes to see our internal people grow is very important to me. Of course, the collaborations with Dana, who everyone knows is the great synthesizer. The collaborations with Jalen and my internal team. Now I have the great gift of Cary Malik as my REM now. And of course, going back to Melanie Maldonado, Tina Cusick, Angie, and then now to Cary, my collaborations with my REM. So I always see it as collaborative. I don't want to do it by myself. And I know I can't.
Okay. And I'm going to get to Cary. Let's put a bow on Albemarle. We had that recognition ceremony. And as you think about like the award ceremony and what that day meant and just what that year meant for the company, for Albemarle, for you, for Jalen, for the whole team, what do you want your lasting legacy to be at Albemarle? And then just final reflections on the fabulous Albemarle Aces, your time there in 2025.
I want that I always told them this. I want this place, meaning the Albemarle store, to forever be a place of growth, love, and safety for not only the employees and the staff, but for the guest of the business. And I believe with all of my heart that Jalen is going to carry that, and it was his own before I left, and he's making it his own now. So I just want it to be remembered as something that was thought not possible, that was done, which I feel like is a lot of important things in my life. There's a lot of things about me that others said wasn't possible. There's things that I didn't believe that was possible, and I just want that to forever be a thing of possibility for everyone. That anyone can go in there and they can make a great life for themselves, and it's again a safe place for guests and for our memory makers.
That's awesome. What's one of the things that people said was not possible about your life that you've overcome or achieved?
Where I grew up, Charlie, there's not a lot of people that are sitting with CEOs of $300 million companies talking about success. Yeah. I mean, that's just the truth of it. There's very few people that, unfortunately, would have what is generally called success. So I think the biggest thing that I've overcome is becoming a statistic of where I come from.
Yeah, and you've done a great job.
Thank you.
Okay, so now you're transitioning to a brand new team. Back to where you started. Back to the Cary Crushers, the proud Cary Crushers. And so what is that going to mean? What's that team? What's the challenge of taking on an already high-performing team and trying to reinvigorate the identity, infuse your special magic, and then now compete, talk the smack with the Mitch Dixons, the Troy Walkers of the world, which I'm sure you enjoy.
Oh, yeah. I know he does. I would say that the first thing I told the team through the door in Cary, which they knew I was coming, we knew for a couple of months, and we did a lot of kind of behind the scenes planning there, Cary Malik and I especially. But I just told them through the door, I'm not going to come in, I'm not going to overpressurize anything. I'm not going to come in here and try to change 100 things. All I want you to do is focus. All I want you to see is everything that we need to do, we already know how to do. And if we can just focus in on that, and we talked about average ticket, we talked about they will buy more and sell them by yes through the door. I promised them that I wouldn't count them down. I wouldn't say you're supposed to be doing this many of this many times. As long as you give me accurate goal sheets and accurate scans on what you are doing, we'll see at the end of this $1.5 to $1.6 million, we'll see some really true data that we'll be able to use to our benefit. But the Cary Crushers is a legacy. And it's a legacy that I'm a part of from 2019 when I first started here, and it's going to forever be a legacy.
As an AGM, by the way, Associate General Manager.
It was called RPM then.
RPM,
Retail
I'm
Performance
sorry.
Manager.
Retail Performance Manager, started as RPM. What a great title.
Yeah. But it's important for me to walk back through the door of Cary as a member of the legacy, not anyone trying to create a new legacy, because Cary has a legacy. I mean, the Crushers will always crush. People, I've heard a couple of times, hey, Bradley, what are you going to do with the identity? There is an identity. I would never dream, nor would I want to change the identity.
It's not like you go to the Boston Celtics and say, now we're going to be the Boston whoever, or
right.
the Los Angeles Lakers.
Exactly. And that's a great point, because I do feel like there are teams in this company that will always have the identity, and they've done so much with that's just what it is. But, there's going to be some differences now. And the Mitches and Troy and James and Durante up there in the north who's coming in with us, and Jeff Willis, and I want all these people to know that it's hammer time. and we're going to hammer.
Okay. So what are you seeing as the early opportunity so far with your new crushers and the new opportunity
We've grown our average ticket
already?
Oh yeah, over LY we are about $550 up on average
I got to
ticket.
do this LY last year. Yeah.
The biggest opportunity that is for me is just building trust. You know, Cary's seen a lot of movement at my position, whereas you've got tenured people there that have been there from 3, 4, 5, 6 years. They don't want to be anywhere else. That's where they want to be. And I think that the most important thing for me through the door is for them to know is I don't want to be anywhere else either. My beloved daughter Rosie is named Rose Cary. She's named after that town. She was a hollering Go Crushers at 2 years old when I first came to the company, and my feet are planted there. I spent almost 2 years serving Broad River, 2 hours from her and an hour and 15 minutes from my own home. And now the Cary store is 20 minutes from her. So that's my home. I'm going to be there, and I'm going to make sure that we create a comfortable, again, safe environment for people to work and shop.
And you've shopped some of the competition. You said you were not scared. I don't want to.
You called them that.
Yeah, if we call them that, I got you. And so let's talk about the team in Cary. Like you already talked about your collaboration with Cary Malik, named but spelled differently, Cary. And so talk about some of the HFCs you've got there, and or I should say HFEs, because I know there's a lot of experts.
Well, I brought back Miguel Medina to the organization. I knew years ago when I came back that when I came back to the East region where I live, that Miguel was going to come with me, and that promise was kept. So Miguel Medina at Sleep SM, have Ben Woodman, by the time this airs, will have taken over at VIP sales manager. Excitedly, he's doing such a great job, and I had my eye on him for that, but I wanted to see it for a month, and it was absolutely validated. Carolina Reyes, who was a crusher with me in 2019, so to bring that culture back and to bring her back to the team, she's joined the team. And then we have 5 home furnishing experts. Of course, Mike Cohen, who was the top writer last year for the organization, almost $2.1 million.
Iron Mike.
That's right, Money Mike. Then we have Leah Hayes, Myra Hernandez, and Lindsay Walton, who are just a trio of tremendous talent. Like I find myself asking them for autographs all the time. And then Matt Zakarian, who is a tremendous talent in himself and such an interesting guy. I'm having so much fun working with him. And then we've got Danny Sanchez and Joe Valine, who are HFA and HFC, but I 100% see the path for them to take off into expert status. And then we've got our AGM, Gerard Harris, who just started with us, who is tremendous talent. Got him running the floor, and just to see how big his eyes get at times when he sees these things is very inspiring. And then we've got Jim, who Jim Kennison is our senior sales manager. So we're and Jalen, our visual. We're a stacked roster over there, and like I said already, and I'll say it again, it's hammer time.
You guys are loaded.
Yeah,
you guys are loaded.
Yeah.
I love it. Talking about your leadership style, from small town Stanley County, Albemarle Aces, and the success you had there to be malleable to kind of make it wedge into that opportunity. Now going back to the larger town, larger store of Cary, does your leadership evolve with that team who's maybe a little bit more experienced? Or what changes, what stays the same with your leadership approach?
So I think that the real identifying thing is that Cary's not the difference Albemarle is. So I've, whether it be the South Boulevard outlet, which was a hustle and bustle and moving business. It had as many HFCs as Cary does now. Bull City had some movement to it. My small business experience had movement in those stores. So Cary going through the door, it's Albemarle's difference of being such a low traffic that was the real difference. It's all rather relative when it comes to traffic and the business sizes, even though Cary's obviously a very large business. But my real style, I would say, in this situation, it has came back is the movement, having the headset on, being on the floor, running. In Albemarle there wasn't a lot of people a lot of times, so sometimes most of the time it would be rather quiet. But now it's just staying in the middle of the floor and being available at all time and running my team and being available to them to assist is the number one thing. There's not a ton of science to it if you're doing it the right way. Get on the floor, help your people, be in P2I, and be the energy.
P2I comes up with a lot of GMs or multi-unit leaders. Okay, so 2026, the year we're forging forward, we're forging ahead. Any other ways that you're forging ahead this year, or any other goals or thoughts?
It's now that we've seen it's possible with AFI breaking the stores into categories. I want to be the #1 store in North America for me and the Crushers, the same way that the Aces were. And actually, now that Troy and the Bloodline ranked on that list 2 months ago, I think it makes it even more desirable for us to get that before he does.
Well, which brings up a good point. As Broad River continues to grow and expand, getting at the top of the leaderboard is a lot more challenging.
Yeah.
And the competition is fierce.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of fighting for the top spot. And you got like Robert Hiltz in Asheville. You got Alexis Strophus, in Augusta. You got Troy in the Bloodline. You got Mitch. You got James in Toronto. You got Jeff Willis in Dreamville. You got you. You got Rich Smith down in Fayetteville.
Yeah.
What are you seeing now with the East region per se? With Josh Rivera and what's happening with this new region?
Super excited about Josh.
I should say with this new region's leadership. We've got added some new leaders like you, like Victoria, like Josh, and so you guys are I think got some big plans ahead.
The Beast are back. I mean that's I can't say it any more definitively than that. It's I left the East region in 2020, and the excitement is huge. I'm excited to work with Rich. Rich and I are very similar in a lot of things that we do. We're both hungry. We both want to win, and to have him in Fayetteville, and then my team that we have in Cary, and then Josh Stanley in Raleigh. I mean that's 3 tenured, experienced, hungry leaders that want to make it happen. And then Josh Rivera is tremendous. Him coming in the way that he's gained trust first, which is always so important to me, not coming in swinging, around rules and trying to make changes, just coming in and talking about trust first. Victoria is a tremendous talent that we've added. And then everybody else over in the East, we got a really good GM roster. And I think that Josh Rivera winning SRL or Senior Leader of the Year is something that we'll definitely see in the future.
Okay, fantastic. But it's going to continue to get more and more fierce. I know James is going to try to build up the Northeast, and you got Melanie and Spokane Pathfinders out there in the Northwest. Now the Richland Dogs. So you got a lot.
Can I speak on that? I want to welcome.
This is your podcast.
I want to welcome the Richland Dogs, and I just want to let them know that in this organization, what we've seen is new businesses, grand openings, and we'll have movement within the organization to those stores and new hirings for those stores. But we've not had a store be adopted over in a long time. And for a store to be adopted over and to be called the Dogs has been noticed. And it's been talked about.
I love it. Central Washington, Richland Dogs, they see you, and we see you. So welcome home.
Yeah.
This has been a fun conversation so far. Hey, you gave me a book as a gift one time, and so I brought some gifts for you.
Thank you.
We're going to do book time. So I got 3 of them, and you may already have this. Do you have a copy of Gradually Then Suddenly?
I do not.
Great. So this is Mark Batterson's latest book, Gradually Then Suddenly. And I think you'd really enjoy that if you like Batterson's books.
Thank you, sir.
He wrote Win the Day and Do It for a Day and A Million Little Miracles and The Circle Maker, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Now, then I was thinking about, Bradley Sullivan. What do I go? So I went back to some oldies but goodies I think you're going to really like. When I think about you, I think about grit. And so this is actually a 10-year-old book now. I read it 10 years ago. Angela Duckworth's book. Have you ever read this?
I have not.
So I know you like to read The Power of Passion and Perseverance. And it's really talking about don't just chase your passion, but once you get passionate about something like you have for retail and sales and leadership, how that develops this internal grit within you. So I think you'll really enjoy this one. You don't have to read them all at once. All right. And then I know you're a student of the game, and this isn't not a lot of people know about this book, but this one just kind of hit me. It's called The Art of Business Wars by
great title.
by David Brown. Now, it came from a podcast, the Business Wars podcast, which I've listened to a lot of their series. And really what he does is he pits one company against another, like Nike versus Under Armour, or Disney versus Universal, or Netflix versus Disney, or whomever, Google versus Facebook, or Amazon, or Microsoft, and just kind of tells that story of these two companies competing against each other. So I know you love competition. I know you love like business history and historical events. And so it says battle-tested lessons for leaders and entrepreneurs from history's greatest rivalries. And so this one is actually a really great book and some great stories in here that I read it a few years ago, and I think you'll really enjoy it. So this would be like a good vacation book, sitting on the beach if you're kicking your feet back or what have you, or at night when you're just trying to wind down. The Art of Business Wars.
Thank you, Charlie.
And I highly recommend his podcast too, which I think you'll love.
That's a great title.
Each series is like 5 or 6 episodes and tells like the story, and he recreates kind of like what they may have said when it was like Southwest Airlines versus the other entrenched players, that sort of thing. So it's great business stories, a lot of great lessons there. So appreciate
Very cool.
You, and congratulations on GM of the Year. What you got over there?
I got you something.
You got me something. It's gift sharing time. That's great.
So that's from Jalen and I, for you and Manny.
Okay.
So one of the biggest things for us in Albemarle. Yeah, absolutely. One of the biggest things for us in Albemarle was Jalen was engaged to be married the whole time. And his wedding, we were all there. And then his honeymoon, he got to go to Paris, as we all know. And he brought me back a deck of cards, of course, from the Louvre. So that is our aces, Jalen and I's designated aces from the Louvre, from that deck. So it opens up.
Oh, that is awesome. Moulin Rouge.
And then if you open it up, it has.
Oh, look at that.
So that's for you and Manny. We wanted to thank you guys, and we tried to proudly model ourselves for our little business after the way you guys collaborate, and we wanted to thank you.
That is super, super cool.
He'll be here soon. Jalen. For a podcast with you.
Okay.
Yeah, he's so excited. So
that's awesome for Sales Manager of the Year.
Yeah. He's
and now his new role
as general manager.
It's going to be a great episode. Is there anything that you wanted to say in this episode that you haven't said, that you had on your mind, or anything that you had hoped that I would ask you that I haven't asked you yet?
Yesterday,
Mr. Furniture Famous, Mr. Man on a Roll, Mr. High Charge Competition, They Will Buy More, Mr. VPO, Mr. Troy Walker's arch nemesis.
Troy Walker's my arch nemesis. Listen, I will say, since you said it, nothing but respect between Troy and I, and with Mitch and I, with the collaboration that we've had since I got back in these last 2 years. Mitch promoted to the flagship, Troy to senior sales manager, and me to Cary. Collaborate. Surround yourself with successful people that say positive things. Rosie's 10th birthday was yesterday. So I have to say,
happy birthday, Rosie.
Happy birthday to my darling Rose. But one thing I do want to say, and if you didn't cover, I told myself I would say if you asked me the question, I want to give a shout out to Chris Barrier. When I came back to the organization and Chris Barrier was going to be over me.
And let me explain this. Sorry to cut you off. Chris Barrier is the area manager of the Supernova, and so the Supernova had a lot of wins itself, and so he would have been area manager over Albemarle.
That's right. We were great friends years ago. We were teammates years ago. We were competitors years ago. We were on the RPC together years ago. So we learned a lot of the business together, and we were pretty lateral in position. And when I got back and Chris was over me, it's probably an interesting thing for him, because we were peers. And the greatest thing that Chris Barrier did was he just kind of built a fence around me when times would get tough in Albemarle, and I'd have to blow off some steam. And I don't know if you know this about Chris Barrier, but he'll blow some steam back. So we had some great red-faced conversations, but I just want to make sure that he gets the recognition as being what I feel maybe, our most storied memory maker. I mean, Chris Barrier came from HFA up through sales manager, up through GM, and now into multi-unit, and he did it all by being a true beating heart for Broad River. He loves this company. He loves his people, and I'll never forget when you guys announced me, or Stacy announced me as GM of the year. I stood up, Jalen pushed me, And then Chris Berry hugged me tight. And the emotions almost lost the emotions there because I love him, care for him, and appreciate him so much.
That's awesome. Well, I love that you always make sure that you give everyone who needs to get a shout out, because that's really, really important to you. It's a testament to your leadership. Look, it's been a joy to have you back with us at the River since you rejoined. You have made us better, and you've grown immensely, and I think we're just getting started. So
we're going nationwide, man.
Let's
ZZ
do
Top
it.
said it.
Let's do it. So we got some big goals, and it's all about forging ahead. Can't wait to see what the future brings us. Keep doing a great job at Cary, and proud of you, man. And so, hey, with that, that's been the Bradley Sullivan episode, GM of the Year for 2025. Just getting started. Just got promoted to the Cary Crushers from these fabulous Albemarle Aces. And these Aces, that's one of the things that they say. And so now they're Jalen's Aces, and now he's back with the Cary Crushers. So thanks so much for joining us. We try to bring you fresh new content every Tuesday. Catch some of our spotlights on YouTube or LinkedIn or wherever you get your fresh podcast content. And thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for listening to Stories from the River. To check out more episodes, visit storiesfromtheriver.com. To watch this episode, go to youtube.com/@storiesfromtheriver. Join us again next week, and remember to like, rate, and subscribe to the podcast.